Hi friends, I've got a very interesting conversation. I'm at my alma mater. I am Bangalore, and I met Sanjeev. Sanjeev is into consulting for small startups around marketing, which is a very interesting space, obviously. Sanjeev used to be the head of marketing for India for Adobe.
Well, no, I was actually the director of marketing for one of Adobe's BU globally.
One of Adobe's BUs globally, which is even better from my perspective. So, without further ado, Sanjeev, do you want to talk about what Adobe marketing was all about? What was the mandate?
Yeah, so when I used to work for Adobe, which was about a year ago, up until a year ago, Adobe had 5 BUs, and one of the BUs, which is called the Print and Publishing BU, that was headquartered in India. And when I say headquartered, not just the engineering part of it, but other functions including product management, marketing.
The P&L owner sat.
The P&L owner stature, that's right. And so our mandate was essentially to run the print and publishing BU, much like any of my peers and other BUs would do out of San Jose. We just happened to be in India. And so that's what we did.
Mm-hmm. And what was it? What was marketing all about?
So print and publishing BU really had a broad portfolio of products. At one end we had OEM business where essentially our PDF technology went inside the print manufacturers, and I'm talking about commercial printers, their products. And then the other end where we sold the more traditional, if you will, Adobe products, Adobe style products, which were aimed at independent publishing professionals like technical writer or e-learning content creator and so on and so forth. And so our major activity, if I might say, was towards the latter part of the portfolio, which is the independent professional, publishing professional. And the focus really there was interesting in that our portfolio included products that were on an average 10 to 15 years, some of them were even 25 years old. So we were not in a situation where we were in a land grab. We were pretty much the leaders of the segment. So my portfolio included things like RoboHealth and Captivate, which are leaders in their respective space. So our challenge really was, we had a large user base. How do we make sure that our user base were consistently on the latest versions of our product? That really was the bottom line. We released a version every 18 months or so, and how do we encourage people to buy our latest versions? It wasn't really a new user as much as it was to get them to buy our newest release.
Very nice. Very excellent. And obviously, you've decided to transition and manage and become a consultant in the field of marketing to small businesses. And obviously, in a market like India, where generally the value for where the value for ideas and thoughts and those kinds of things are a little less valued perhaps than the first world. So what made you shift and take that plunge?
So firstly, I don't think that it's true that ideas are not valued. I think there wasn't just enough number of people looking for somebody like me before. The reason I decided to take the plunge is because I just feel very strongly about the role marketing is going to play in the success of the overall startup ecosystem within India. I have, over the 17 years that I was a product marketer, worked in companies at different sizes, down from a $5 million company all the way up to a few billion, which was what Adobe was. I have worked with companies that were headquartered in India, that were not headquartered in India, that sold to startups in Silicon Valley, but wasn't a startup itself, was a startup and sold to established companies and so on. And so I've really had the opportunity to essentially play or wear a marketing hat in many different circumstances. And I have come to believe very strongly that marketing has a super important role to play in the success of any business. As the startup ecosystem has grown within India over the last, especially the tech startup ecosystem, over the last few years, I have been engaged with that system even before I quit. And I have been struck really. So if I look at the ecosystem of the startup community in India versus say or in Bangalore versus say in the Valley, the one key thing that strikes me is the inability of the Indian entrepreneur to understand the value of appropriate marketing to the success of their business.
Mhm.
It's almost an afterthought. In some cases, it's a necessary evil, much like extracting a tooth.
Mhm.
You postpone it till you can.
Mhm.
And that I found was going to hurt the ecosystem in the longer run. And so, if I could play a role in helping that ecosystem understand and perhaps draw that value out, I would be a happy professional.
Brilliant, brilliant. And how has the journey been so far? How long have you been doing this?
So it's going to be a year. I'm
Mhm.
about a month away from finishing a year as an independent. It's been interesting. I have currently I work with a couple of companies as what is popularly known as a fractional CMO, which essentially means that I don't work as a CMO full time, but I am a CMO, and so I typically spend about a day a week in each of these companies, who then have a younger marketing team that I help work through
Brilliant.
the details of the marketing plan that I have. And in addition, I also speak pretty extensively, including where we are right now, where I see myself as an evangelist, getting younger entrepreneurs to understand the value that marketing could potentially bring to their business, and hopefully giving them some frameworks and tools to use it and implement it for their own business.
Brilliant, and I'm sure I'm going to see you next time in a robe and a wand in your role as an evangelist.
Yeah, okay.
Well done, and
Thank you.
congratulations, the best of luck.
Thank you.
Yes.